be missing extended action for the Rays.
What that means, we're going to dive and talk about that today.
Yes, we will.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making Locked On Rays your very first listen every day. And remember, Locked On Rays is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube at Locked On Rays. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays. You can email us, lockedonrays@gmail.com. And you can support the podcast and get an opportunity to guest co-host a future episode by visiting buymeacoffee.com/Rays Unfiltered. Again, buymeacoffee.com/Rays Unfiltered. We have the description for that in our episode description. That's one way to put it. Anyway, there we go. As we alluded to in the little intro there, Pete Fairbanks. He's undergone an MRI. He's suffering and dealing with lat tightness following a very brief spring training outing, and looks like he could be shut down from throwing for 6 weeks at least. So another way to put it, I know that he's looking at second opinions, the team is, but I think Fairbanks is going to miss some time for the Rays.
Now, could you also get a lat strain if you get slapped on the Oscars or no?
Possibly.
Yeah.
It's possible.
It is possible to miss 6 weeks of stand-up. Look, man, it's tough because if you go back to, I don't know, I want to say the November episodes, maybe October after the race were kicked out of the playoffs, I made it my campaign slogan to say the Rays need a high leverage reliever. I don't know if you remember that. But
I remember that you're anti-Pete Fairbanks. You hate Pete Fairbanks with a passion, Mr. 2-out walk.
Oh my
Mr.
gosh.
Can't finish an inning.
Well, my point is you didn't have for 2022 the one guy who you trusted 100% of the time and you gave him the ball. Here you go.
Right.
Who's that guy? I know Kittredge was an all-star, but we also saw how he kind of, it seemed, at least the numbers, dipped down as the season went on because guess what? He was used a lot.
Yes.
So who is that guy that if you're a Rays fan and you're listening to this and you're saying, Ulises, you're completely wrong, there's X. Who is that X guy that you believe 100% of the time from the bullpen, from the stable? I mean, if you have a name and you're watching us on YouTube, please leave it on the comments.
I would think
below.
the Rays would hope that it's Brooks Raley, considering that they're guaranteeing him $10+ million and up to $19.5 million.
I gotta say, how many lefties can you give the ball to in the ninth, or maybe in a critical situation? I mean, I can think of Josh Hader. I can think for the Rays
Billy
in
Wagner.
the past.
Those are pretty big names, though.
Yeah, thank you.
But again,
exactly.
the Rays don't throw
really elite.
The Rays don't throw around money like that.
No, and I think he's going to be a really interesting Andrew Miller, for example, another
retired.
lefty. Yeah, just retired. But there isn't that high leverage guy that the Rays went out and got. I hope good things will come from Brooks Raley, but I am kind of, although I have my issues with Fairbanks giving a lot of walks and getting himself into a lot of unneeded trouble
and struggling on the road,
but he is a guy who ultimately will perform above average. I mean, you look at his numbers at 3.25 ERA, 31.1% of strikeouts of all of hitters that he faced last year. It's a big blow.
I thought you were going to go in a different direction on this. I'm honestly not all that concerned.
Really?
Yes, because you mentioned who's that guy, who's that closer, who's that extra high leverage arm that you're going to go to. Did we think it was Pete Fairbanks? Did we think Pete Fairbanks was going to be the closer for 2022?
I said, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago or something. I need to keep a log of all things I say, Kevin.
Yeah.
My goodness, they're so precious. But
you need a press secretary. That's what you need.
But I did think that in 2022, he was going to evolve, Pete Fairbanks, that they've been molding Pete Fairbanks into, hey, you're going to be our closer. He has that intimidating factor. He's got the big fastball. He's got that big stretch out arm because he's like 6'9". So I thought he was going to move into that role in 2022. Now with him gone, again, not that he would be my first guy to go to in a high leverage situation, but I think that that's what it was going to happen for 2022.
I'm going to tell you why I don't think it's that much of a concern that Pete Fairbanks is going to miss extended time for the Rays. I don't think it's that big of a blow. And I'll tell you why. But before I do that, got to tell you about Athletic Greens.
Okay.
This is probably what Pete Fairbanks needs to get back on the right.
Okay.
Over the next couple weeks and or months, Athletic Greens might be the spot to go. It is the single best thing that you can do for your body in under 60 seconds. So what is Athletic Greens exactly? Well, with just one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens in a cup of water, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. It even may help with your lat strength. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
This special blend ultimately supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health, recovery, focus, and aging. Kevin Kiermaier could use that too. Aging, 32, going to be 32 in a month. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/MLB network.
Can I guess why you don't think it's going to be such a big deal that the Rays missing Pete Scary Eyes, Crazy Eye Fairbanks for 6 weeks or more is not a big deal?
Oh, yeah. I think, well, first off, I think he would be shut down from throwing for 6 weeks. That doesn't even include the amount of ramp-up time. So it could be a double that.
Exactly. It could be 10 weeks or 12 weeks. Exactly.
Yeah. So, but go ahead with your point.
I think it's because he also missed 50 games last season.
Correct.
So you're thinking, okay, well, if he still misses 50 games, he could give us the production from last year and it would be okay. I think that's part of your train of thought. And the second one is the word that is very true about the Rays, but it sounds a little bit hollow when you want to explain these things, which is the D word. And get your head out of the gutter, people.
Yeah.
Depth.
And the way that the Rays can take anybody off the scrap heap and turn them seemingly into an ace reliever. I remember we had a similar conversation last year when we found out that Nick Anderson was going to miss extended time.
Yeah.
It was right around before the regular season started, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was sky is following. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do without Nick Anderson? And what did the Rays do? They won 100 games. They were perfectly fine. What happened when the Rays had 33 different players on the injured list at one point last season, and how many different pitchers on the mend at one point?
A whole rotation and a whole stable worth.
Yeah. Still won 100 games. How many different pitchers earned a save last year for the Rays?
14?
14. Yeah. The Rays will be totally fine.
Let me red team this.
Okay.
Let me red team this because just like the windows of opportunity, people are on Twitter like, oh, the Rays are going to be fine for the next 20 years. Look at that front office. Look at that farm system. They're so smart. They're so great. That window of opportunity for you and you, 2038. Yeah. I think that's ridiculous. I think that it gives you a little bump from the normal window of opportunity time.
Yeah.
If a normal window of opportunity time is 3 to have a good chance of making it 6 to 8, right? Same thing with they can take anybody from the scrap heap and make it a really good pitcher, right? I understand that 100% and I subscribe to that.
Right.
However, if we look back at 2019 when Pete Fairbanks was picked up, he wasn't the same Pete Fairbanks that he is now.
Right.
That takes time. So Nick Anderson didn't take time because I think he was an outlier. I think the next guy that you're supplanting the production of Pete Fairbanks, it's going to take numbers, and when you add up those numbers, the likelihood of one of them faltering increases, and that's what I'm worried about. It's how many guys can give you a 3.25 ERA with 5 saves, a 2.36 average, and a 6.52 OPS. It could be 2, 3 guys, sure.
I think it could be with the Rays. I think it could be 8 different guys.
But that's the thing. The more the number of pitchers that increases to get you that production, the more the likelihood of one of them faltering badly and then affecting that ultimate production. I don't know if I'm making my point as clear as day, but do you understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, and I also am a little bit surprised and shocked that you're going to bat for Pete Fairbanks. If anything, I would be more concerned
that I'm making this point.
Well, that you're Pete Fairbanks' agent, just like you're Tom Romero's agent. But
yeah.
I would be more concerned if I was Pete Fairbanks as opposed to the Rays or a Rays fan of losing Pete Fairbanks, because I could see Pete Fairbanks, when he gets healthy after the next 10, 12 weeks, however long it is, his spot could be taken up and spoken for by one of the other however many relievers that the Rays go to.
Very true. Very true.
David McKay could take his spot.
Yeah.
Dustin Knight could take his spot. David Hess could take his spot.
Chris Mazza. He's looked really good in spring.
Again, and that is also my point, is Colin Poche back in the fold.
Yep.
Ryan Thompson, Jalen Beeks, Matt Whistler, as much as we joke about him. Jeffrey Springs. We've heard a lot about Colby White.
Yeah.
Colby White could be the next
better
version of Pete Fairbanks.
Yeah.
Calvin Fauché.
Maybe. Okay.
And the Rays also have JT Shaquall, JP Fireeyes. They're good. They're set. They're fine.
I understand that. And I didn't put my actual thought ahead first. I don't think the sky is falling because Pete Fairbanks. I think it's a big blow because name 3 guys that you would expect.
It's a little boo-boo. I wouldn't say a big blow. It's not a slap to the face like Will Smith to Chris Rock. It's like a little tap. It's like a helmet tap.
Yeah. I feel like it's more than that, because if we were to take a random survey of 1,000 Rays fans, right? And we ask them, name me the top 3 high leverage relievers. I would put green Skittles that Pete Fairbanks would be on most of those ballots.
And the reason they probably put it there is, again, Pete Fairbanks has been a very solid reliever for the Rays, but I think there's also the mindset and mentality of the guy is 6'6", the guy has the crazy eyes, and the guy throws 99. We don't always think about, oh my gosh, just get out of this freaking inning.
Right. Which is my issue with him.
I think right now, I mean, if we're going who I trust more than Pete Fairbanks, a healthy Pete Fairbanks, I would say Brooks Raley. I would say JT Shaquall. I would say JP Fireeisen, depending on the role that they put him in.
I don't know if I would put JT and JP above in trust issues with Pete Fairbanks, because the stuff
then put him about even.
Yeah, it's just the 31% strikeout rate. That's nice.
But I hate the 2-out walks.
Yes, but ultimately, when he gets himself into trouble, most of the time he has the stuff to get by hitters. I don't know. I feel like this is like a deja vu episode where I'm saying what you would normally say, and you are saying what I would normally say.
What happened? What was the last incident that this happened?
I don't know, man.
Was it with I can't remember, but it was recently. It was like a week ago.
Yeah.
It was the Taylor Walls, Wander Franco shortstop discussion.
I thought you were going to say the thing. Yeah.
But
the thing.
Can I just give some other examples?
Please hit me.
Oliver Drake.
Yeah.
Adam Kolarek.
Yeah.
Hunter Wood. Casey Sadler. Cole Sulser. Aaron Slegers.
Hunter Strickland.
Ryan Sheriff. John Curtis. Aaron Loop. Colin McHugh. Lewis Head, Dietrich Enns, Adam Conley. My point has been making.
Yeah, no, depth is going to be definitely what saves this team.
Well,
ultimately.
No, my point was with those guys is that did we really expect? Wow, look at you look at their numbers with the Rays. In the Rays, they fix them and ship them off.
Right.
So they can find somebody to fill in for the next couple months, couple weeks. And if it gets to a point where, hey, we need a high leverage reliever, there's something called the trade market.
Well,
and
Kevin,
the Rays have plenty of prospects that they can they can give up a Nick Solak or something like that for a high leverage arm.
I'll tell you some names from the free agent pool who are still unsigned.
Okay.
That could potentially be a fit for the Rays. But before I do that, Kevin, I really have to stress how Built Bars are both healthy and delicious, Kevin. Okay, they are covered in 100% real chocolate. I mean, these babies are just delicious, but they're not only delicious too, they're healthy, like I said. Why? Because most Built Bars contain 130 calories. When you compare that to any candy bar in the street, well, they're 200 to 300 calories each. So that is a yuck. You want 130 and 180 calories in your tummy. So what do you have to do to get this healthy and delicious bars in you? Well, you go to built.com and you go to use promo code LOCKED15. When you use that promo code LOCKED15, guess what? You get 15% off at built.com. So today, you're not going to want to delay. You go to built.com and you use promo code LOCKED15 and you're going to get 15% off at built.com. Kevin.
Yes.
I've got some names for you.
Okay.
They're not great, but they're available right now for very little.
Okay. Can I preface before you say what you're about to say? I don't think the Rays are going out and signing a reliever in free agency. I think they're rolling with what they have as of right now. Now, if between today and the next week and a half, if 5 more guys go down, then yeah, we can have a conversation. But that aside, I am curious about these names that you have in mind.
Agreed with all that you said. Trevor Rosenthal is available.
Yes.
32 years old. John Curtis. Hello.
Didn't he have a UCL or ACL injury?
Oh, you're right. Well,
you could bring him back and rehab him if you want, but
you're right.
You're right. And that's another guy that out of the blue.
Yeah, you're right. 2020.
Great numbers. And the Rays trade him and get something back.
Chaz Rowe.
Possibility, sure.
35. But the one that intrigued me the most, and this is the Venezuelan bump that we talk about, Yusmeiro Petit.
Okay.
Let me give you some deets on this guy. 8-3 record last year, 3.92 ERA, 78 innings pitched, 104 whip. What does that mean? The two things that I liked most about Yusmeiro Petit. Number one, dude is durable. 78 games last year, 26 out of 60 in 2020, 80 games in 2019. That led the league, by the way. And then 74 the year prior. This guy will post. He is durable. He is a veteran, 36 years old. He was in the 96th percentile in hard hit percentage. In the 98th percentile, this is elite, 98th percentile in the walk rate. So you have a guy who is durable. You have a reliever who will not walk guys, and you have a guy that will get soft contact. Name a better defense than the Tampa Bay Rays. That doesn't exist. So the soft contact is going to get caught. The fact that he doesn't put runners on by walking, love it, because even if he does get contact, the defense is going to be there. They've got the shifts at least for one more year that they can employ.
Right.
So this is a guy who would be very interesting, and I don't think he would be commanding such a great dollar amount, seeing as he is still in the open market and nobody's talking about him, and it's March 29th.
Yeah, I'm curious why he hasn't been signed as of yet, or maybe it's one of those things where he and his agent are like, let's wait and settle things out. A couple injuries pop up, and then the teams will really start calling.
Maybe.
He's kind of the anti-Pete Fairbanks in that he doesn't throw very hard, and he doesn't walk guys. So
exactly,
it was refreshing, and he's got a good pitch mix. Just because you throw 98, 99 does not mean you're reliable or effective as a pitcher. Yeah. So that's intriguing, and I wouldn't I mean, I'd be on board for that. Sure. I mean,
just a depth piece.
The Rays added Jason Adam to the 40-man roster. Why can't you add Petit to the roster? I don't get that at all. So,
and again, he's been in the league since 2006.
So he has that presence. He knows what comes with it. So I like that. I like that. Unless there's, I don't know if there's something behind the scenes, but I mean, just on the surface, what you talked about and what I see, I would totally be on board with that. And I think, he might even, depending on how you utilize him, could be more productive than whatever Pete Fairbanks would do. And again, I'm not trying to crap on Pete Fairbanks. I just think that Rays fans maybe get a little too infatuated with him because this guy looks like a closer. So he's a closer, right?
It's the personality.
He's going to get 40 saves in 2024, isn't he?
He has a big personality, and I think that's great for him and what he's trying to do with his brand and all that. So I can understand why people gravitate towards Pete Fairbanks, or
maybe Petit's doing the Kevin Kiermaier where it's like, you know what, I don't want to play any spring training games at all. Just get me ready for opening day. That's all I want.
Honestly, it seems like the guy has a rubber arm, so I wouldn't be surprised that he would be completely fine getting into a game right now. And some guys just wake up and can just grab a bat and hit.
Right.
They talked about that with Tony Gwynn. Well, just Mato Petit might be the guy that can wake up, yawn, and then, all right, let me throw the kitchen sink at you.
Maybe that's what you need in the AL East with facing the Red Sox and the Blue Jays and the Yankees. And again, the Orioles don't have too shabby of a lineup either, as opposed to a power arm that you might have Aaron Judge or a George Springer that's going to connect every now and again.
I love that. You have to play with the rules of your division.
Yeah.
That division is going to give you a lot of hard knocks.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays lineup, hello. The Yankees, even though we crap on them, they've got a big power bats there in the middle of that lineup. And, of course, the Red Sox. I mean, so if you can kind of utilize the softies, the Yarbroughs, the Fleming, the Petites in a good way, that would help you.
I like it. Should we mention the Chris Archer thing?
Oh, the fact that Chris Archer has literally the best agent in all of MLB? Yeah,
Shout out to VC Sports Group for getting Chris Archer millions of dollars. Again, more impressive than anything Wander Franco has ever done or will ever do. His agent getting him $3.5 million guaranteed with the Twins, that he can actually earn up to $9.5 million this season with performance bonuses, and there's also a mutual option attached as well.
I saw the tweet and I was in disbelief. I'm like, there has to be a different Chris Archer. And again, not because I don't have anything against Chris Archer. I really hope he has a tremendous comeback, but how are you able to give that much money to a guy who did not post barely 19 innings?
He got paid $350,000 an inning with the Rays. The Rays, not the Yankees. The Rays.
$6.5 million for 19 innings. Then doesn't pitch in 2020. He's rehabbing. 2019, barely any production.
It was awful in 2019. Then has the major injury, and
and in 2018, like the half season was okay-ish. It was a regular season. So for 2.5 years, 19, 20, and 21, no, actually 3 seasons,
and not getting any younger either,
below replacement level, and you're still able to get this guy $10 million.
He better be a great clubhouse guy, because I feel like that's what he's going to be utilized. Hey, bring Joe Ryan along, bring Drew Strotman along, because that Twins, I think they're relying on Chris Archer to be a key cog in that rotation, because I don't see much there as of right now. Yeah, they got Sonny Gray. After that, it's Dylan Bundy and Joe Ryan, a rookie. Kenta Maeda's injured. So they're going to have to go out and make a trade. They're going to have to call the Athletics and try to get Minaya and Montas something, because I don't see how that plus Carlos Correa is going to be enough for what they're trying to do.
I don't get it, man.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
But again,
weird.
Hey, I hope, over under Chris Archer, 75 innings pitched this year.
Under. You would put it at 50, I would still say under. Like, what are the odds, right? Like, I mean, what are we playing at here, people?
Chris Archer, over under 19 1/3 innings pitched this year. Or was it 2/3? How many?
It was 19 1/3. I remember that.
I'm looking. Hey, through spring training, he's pitched 6 2/3.
Wow,
Hey, good for him.
He's given more production. He's given a
the
third
way
of the production.
Yeah,
that he
19 and a third innings pitched. And
And
it's not like it was like a 0 ERA in those 19 and a third. It was a very pedestrian 19 innings.
Again, we're not. I mean, most of this is in jest because we're trying to have fun and make this podcast entertaining.
Yeah.
Because I know you guys do like it to be fun, and we like to have fun too, Kevin. But honestly, I don't understand this move for the Twins for that much money. I mean, just call the AAA guy and let him get hit. Like let him,
right.
take his punches.
Yeah.
I don't understand this at all. I mean, I don't get it.
I feel like if he is healthy and he does post 100, 120 innings, he's still going to get hit extremely hard.
Show me a guy who didn't post for 1, 2, 3 seasons and then comes back in the 4th season and is just nails. Like that doesn't happen.
Right.
That doesn't happen.
And it's not like I would get it more so if it was sort of a legacy signing of, oh, Chris Archer played for the Twins for 10 years and he's coming back.
Last year with the Rays, that was a legacy signing. Oh, we're bringing him back, $6.5 million. That was a legacy signing.
Which I still think was pricey then. Like I would have more understood it at $3.5 million plus all the performance bonus incentives. So VC Sports Group, please call us. We need a great agent. That would be unbelievable. So
my gosh,
man, talk about putting one over Bamboo. I mean, we want the best for Chris Archer, but I just think it's I don't see it at this point. I don't see it.
You know what? I hope we go back in October or November and be like, wow, we were so wrong. Yeah. But with all the information that we have, and you know what? If you're watching again on YouTube, leave your comment and say, I think it's fine. I think VC Sports is the best agency in all of baseball. Like, I want you to tell me what you guys think about this Chris Archer signing, because from where we're sitting, no entiendo nada. Absolutamente nada.
You have nothing?
Yes, I don't understand it.
I know
nothing
at all.
Spanish there you
here
go.
And there. I need to do some more Duolingo. We actually did get some comments from listeners out there on Twitter regarding the Chris Archer signing. Arjunas Rashad says, honestly, so glad he's getting a new chance right now with another team. Hope it turns out to be successful for both. Hopefully not too successful because we'd like the Rays to beat the Twins in the playoffs, but
That's right.
I get your point. Brian Stark says, for once, another team is smarter than the Rays for paying Archer based on escalators and incentives than just blowing $6.5 million on like 10 innings. Brian, it was actually 19 and a third. Let's get it right. But yes, your point is well taken. Jake Stokes stealing more millions. Okay. Dustin Payne says, glad he's getting a chance somewhere. Caleb says, I'll miss him. Yeah, we missed him too because he didn't play last season for the Rays. That is the biggest thing. Okay, and you've made this point recently about part of any sport is the greatest ability being availability.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be able to play for us? You can have as much talent in the world out there. You can be Byron Buxton, but are you going to be there?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to show up? That's kind of important. And then Elliot says, happy for him. Hopefully he kills it unless he's playing the Rays. Do the Rays play the Twins this year?
Yeah.
Okay. So we could see a little Archer Rays reunion.
Yeah, we could see some Joe Ryan at the Trop. That would be nice.
That's true. Although, I mean, I don't know if we'll see. Let's say for Chris Archer and the Rays to see and face each other, it would have to be like an April game because by May he's going to be down for the count. No,
Damn.
I mean, are we seriously?
Yeah, I mean, again, tremendous agency. I hope he succeeds.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put green Skittles on him having a productive, durable season.
Here we go. Who pitches more innings this year, Tommy Romero or Chris Archer?
Oh, I will take Tommy
in the bigs.
Tommy Rowe. Tommy Romero is going to have more innings pitched than Chris Archer. Book it.
Okay. Although I will say Chris Archer his arm could be about to fall off, and he's like, I don't know what those incentives are, but if there's like an innings count to that point, like, hey, you get to 100 innings, you get
Scotch
7
tape
million.
The shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going
Put
for
some
it.
blue emu on there, icy whole 9 yards.
I'm good, coach.
Tore it all, and you're good to go. So, very good.
Yeah.
Man, we talk about hammering on pitchers today.
I know.
Pete Fairbanks, Chris Archer.
Enough.
Woof.
Yeah.
Good night, nurse. What else do we have? Oh, yeah. We may or may not have a really fun interview with one of the Rays' top prospects this week.
You guys are going to love.
Can I give a
this
little
interview.
hint? He's extremely athletic.
Extremely athletic.
Okay, we'll just leave it at that.
There you go.
Thank you for making the Locked On Rays podcast your first listen every day. Now make your second listen, the Locked On MLB podcast. That is also free and available on all platforms. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow, maybe or maybe not.